Welcome to the Online Trainer Show, where we help fitness and nutrition pros take better care of their clients and build profitable businesses. I'm Jonathan Goodman, and as always, I'm joined by Amber Reynolds. We're happy you're here. Let's start the show.
Hey, podcast listeners. Amber here. I wanted to share a quick update with you before we get on to today's episode. Today's episode will be our last episode for a few months as we work on something really exciting. We can't share much with you just yet, but know that we'll be back and we'll be sharing updates as soon as we can. Thank you for listening and having fun with us. Always feel free to connect with us by following Jon on Instagram at It's Coach Goodman and me at Glow Mama Fitness. We've had a ton of fun with you guys and we look forward to jumping back in with you. Now let's get on with the show. So Jon, how's Reddit been as of late? You've been on there a little bit.
I'm a big deal. I got an award. I got the Silver Reddit Award on the Reddit.
Reddit.
I can only imagine that's a very big deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's not that there's all, the free awards and all sorts of other, like there's a wholesome award. If you ever get one of those, that's interesting.
Certainly not going to get that. But there's a whole story behind this, which is you introduced me to Reddit like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I went on there and I tried to be legitimately helpful to
you
somebody.
So were.
And I get this message, just the vitriol, the hate from this other user on Reddit. The word language that should not be said around children, even around adults. It should not be said. The cesspool. And this was my first foray into Reddit. And now, full circle, I have the Silver Award. And,
there you go. To date, this is still my proudest accomplishment with working with you. It's introducing you to Reddit and you getting hate immediately.
So much hate.
Makes me happy. And it's funny because it was because he didn't believe that you were the author of the book he recommended.
What did he? Yeah, that was the thing. He recommended my book, and I went and thanked him for recommending my book. And he's like, "Who the hell do you think you are, pretending to be some second-rate author on Reddit?" I'm like, "You just recommended my book."
Exactly.
And I said, "Thank you." What is going on?
So
I feel like I need an adult.
So if that person who said that is listening, thank you. That brought me so much joy.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Reddit. Oh my goodness. I forgot that's what it was. It was literally like there was a whole thread recommending Ignite the Fire, and I thanked the person who started it. And they just started just going off on me in like a private message. Like,
It's see if I can find it. That was when I had a different username on Reddit. I'll have to see if I can find it.
Oh God,
that was so much fun. Anyway.
Yeah. 11 steps.
Yeah,
we have
and not in the AA kind of steps, and the complete client life cycle kind of steps. So
I don't know what the AA. Oh, Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah, no, it's not that. This is the client life cycle. We talked about this a few episodes ago, where, education really only prepares you for like one of the 11 steps, which to me is just crazy. Like if you think about the fact that education prepares you for step 6 of 11, not steps 1 to 5 and not steps 7 to 11. They only prepare you for step 6. And by the way, for anybody who knows how numbers work, you don't get to 6 unless you do 1 to 5 first, is how numbers work.
So if you completed kindergarten, you should be all set.
Yeah. So it really doesn't seem to make sense to me to only prepare people for step 6 of an 11-step process. It seems like there's something missing there. And so I want to walk you through the 11 steps, because my goal with this is to very quickly give you an idea and help you self-assess where you are at in terms of your comfort and abilities on all of the 11 steps. Because when you do that, you will start to, you'll figure out very, very quick where to spend your time and study and education money moving forward and what gaps you have to fill. If things aren't working out precisely how you want them to be right now, This is probably why. And it can be very hard, objectively, abstractly, to figure out what it is you actually need to do to move forward. So if you feel like you are taking a lot of action and not getting anywhere, then this episode will help. And if you are somewhere where you can have a piece of paper, it'll be really helpful to write down this stuff. If not, you can, if you find it, listen through, if you find it useful, you can go back through it again with a piece of paper and, 1.2, 1.5 times speed and kind of write it down. So the first step one, is attraction. So on a piece of paper, write down attraction in the first block on the top left of your page. Success isn't about competition. It's about attraction, which is having a way of having people want to approach you and have you work with them. So I want you to actually write red, yellow, green, like RYG. Obviously, different colors do that. But green on this scale means that you've got people messaging you multiple times a day asking to be your client. Red is you basically never get asked. Yellow is that it happens every so often, but it's irregular and you can't really depend on it. So go ahead and give yourself a score on step one, attraction, right? Like, where are you at with that? Red, yellow, green. Number two is engagement. So you got to engage a client. It's not enough for people just to see you. You've got to make it easy for them to engage with you in some sort of meaningful way that's comfortable for them and time and resource efficient for you. Okay, all of those things are really important. So green on this scale means that you've got a single way that's clear for anybody who comes across you, for them to engage with you on the road to becoming your client. Basically, the beginnings of a system that you've built, right? Yellow is that you're approachable, but it's not really clear to anybody else exactly how. So they kind of like comment or message you in all different types of places, and it's totally random. And red is that you just like have no idea. So the second one is engagement, right? And give yourself a red, yellow, or green. The third one is sales. Number three, after a client engages with you, you've got to sell them on your services in order for them to become a client. Like, nothing happens until you get the sale. And so if you don't get the sale, you don't get to serve a client. So it doesn't really matter if you are really good at serving clients if you never actually sell a client, because then you're never going to have a client to serve, i.e. steps 1 to 5 come before step 6, right? So step 3 is sales. And the right way to approach sales is to view it as your first coaching opportunity. The wrong way is to think about it as a way of tricking or pressuring people into buying. So I guess I'll ask you, if you have a distilled and dialed in sales flow that's consultative and respectful and so effective that seamlessly it takes people from being a prospect to a client, or do you get nervous and kind of just wing it? So red is you have no system and you're super nervous selling. Yellow means you've got some kind of general idea of what to say, but you're not that confident in it. And green means that you've got your flow nailed down and you're confident delivering it. So again, give yourself a score. Red, yellow, green. So that's steps 1 to 3. We'll take a very quick breather here. Does your preparedness and then you want to blow out the steam off your hot chocolate. Okay, one more right in. Hot chocolate breath.
Who knew we were going to have a meditative experience in a podcast episode? That's wonderful.
So the next question that I'm going to ask you as we take this quick breather is whether your preparedness or lack of preparedness on these first 3 steps surprises you at all. If you're feeling like you have gaps already and it's making you nervous, like you're not alone, don't feel like it's like an awful thing. Traditional education or industry doesn't prepare you for the realities of working in the 21st century fitness industry. And still, though, I'll ask you, thinking about this, looking at this model, do you agree that you really can't begin to even think about training clients without a certain level of confidence in these first 3 steps? Like, you kind of have to attract and engage and sell a client before you get a chance to train them, right? So anyway, if you're nervous, like, Know that you're not alone. Know that we've got your back. Like, that's what this podcast is for. That's what the Online Trainer Academy is for. Like, the goal of this episode is simply for you to self-assess where you're at on all of the different steps of stuff that you need to be confident in order to be a well-rounded, complete professional. Okay, cool. So the next two I'll put together. Legal is number 4, and intake/assessment is number 5. So you want to write down legal as number 4, intake/assessment is number 5. Legal is pretty straightforward. You want to sleep easy at night. In order to do that, you've got to know what you need to do in order to protect yourself. Kind of have it in order. Green means that you've got all your ducks in a row, right? You've got your insurance, waivers, forms all ready to go. You've got a system for sending them to clients. Yellow means you've hacked together some of this. You maybe copied somebody else's terms on the internet or whatever it is, and you use that as yours, but you're not really sure of it. You're not really quite sure whether it's actually going to protect you or stand up anywhere. You just like feel good having it. And red means you don't have any of this, right? So give yourself a mark here, right? With legal, red, yellow, green. And then we'll move on to intake and assessment, which is where you gather everything that you need from a client in order to write him a great program. And so you want to give yourself a red, yellow, green mark here. Green means that you understand the differences between assessing online and in person. You've got your assessment protocols down. You know what they mean. You know what they show you. You know precisely how to gather the information you need from a client. And you've got an efficient system to send and receive it from them. Yellow means that you kind of make it up as you go per client. And you kind of just email a bunch of stuff back and forth, but it's pretty messy. And red means that you don't really know what you're doing. You know, you're just guessing the whole time. So give yourself a mark here. Step 5. Now, step 6, which is the one where I'm guessing the majority of people, Amber, who are listening to this are probably best at, is program building. What's crazy to me is that this is pretty much the only step that like most certifications and continuing education certifications actually prepare you for. Like, and it's important, obviously. Like, it's a big part of what we do, but you're never going to get to step 6 unless you do step 1 to 5. Like, again, this is kind of how numbers work. And most of the people that we've worked with struggle so much with steps 1 to 5 that they never get a chance to showcase themselves and help their clients with step 6. It's just, unfortunately, the reality. I mean, I see it all the time in different groups I'm in for different continuing education providers, people who have been in the industry for a few years, people who have done their baseline certification, continuing certifications in a whole bunch of different disciplines, post-rehab, nutrition, everything, right? Postnatal, everything and everything. And they're posting in there, they're like, hey, I've done this. I'm so excited about my education. Now, how do you get clients? So that seems a bit backwards there.
We just had a sip the tea moment. We'll have to turn. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Do you like my mug?
I was going to ask you about that. I was concerned about the decorations a moment ago because they look like something in particular. But
oh, does it? What does it look like? It does. What's it look like?
If I have to explain it.
Come on, Amber. It's not like Robert's listening to anything. I like it. I like it's clay. And I really like the lip at the top because you can hold that really, really comfortably. It's got a great, what's called hand. Like it's got a really great grip. And I don't particularly like the design. I don't really care about the design, but yeah, it's a super comfortable mug. So I bought it. It was 50 pesos, which is $2, $2.50. So going back to step 6. That's what's important here, not my coffee mug. Okay, my coffee mug's pretty important. You're agreeing here if you feel like you can get clients results with their program. Like, simple as that. Now, the next, step 7, is program delivery. And so you've built the program. How you deliver programming to your client should be smooth, slick, and seamless. So you're agreeing here if you have a system you're confident in, that a client intuitively understands and appreciates, right? Like, it's easy for them. It shouldn't be work for them. It's batshit crazy to me that in order for a client to work with you, they've got to download an app, sign up for a whole bunch of Google Drive documents, figure out how to navigate all these things, create accounts and all these things. You're sending them a goddamn spreadsheet. Like, it has to be seamless for them. So You're green here if you have a system you're confident in that a client intuitively understands and appreciates. Yellow if it's really cumbersome for them, right? It's not about you, it's about them. Yellow if it's cumbersome for them. And red if you just don't have any kind of system. That's number 7, program delivery. Number 8 is support, trust, and connection. Support, trust, and connection. Trainers are in a service industry. Our success depends on how good of a job we do delivering a service. So this step contains both tangible and intangible elements. A great coach works hard to acquire the soft skills like empathy, communication, motivational interviewing, while also knowing exactly what to do when any of a number of really difficult situations arise, like when a client stops reporting to you, or there's a refund request, or any of a whole bunch of other stuff. So your red, yellow, and green ranking here is kind of more of a feeling. Do you feel confident that you've got the right combination of soft skills and experience to navigate all of the little things that come up that can hinder a client's progress? If so, you're good. Now, the final 2 steps kind of go hand in hand, right? I say that they're not really quite steps 10 and 11. They're kind of both step 10, but you can write 10 and 11 beside them. 10 is retention. 11 is referrals. Just because a client's happy and gets results doesn't mean that they're going to stay a client. Retention conversations and processes have to be baked in from day one, literally the sales call is where you start having retention conversations and feelings. So you're green here if you have a retention formula that begins before a client even starts working with you. And you're red if you just kind of hope that it happens, but don't do anything specific to make it happen. Asking if the client wants to continue after their package when it's done kind of doesn't count. It kind of doesn't work that well. And it's certainly not a system. Referrals are one of those things again, referrals are number 11. So give yourself a red, yellow, green for number 10. Referrals is number 11. It's the final one. It's one of those things that everybody intuitively knows is valuable, but few put any real effort into, if you think about it. So you're green here if you've got a referral culture embedded into your practice where every client you train knows that the normal thing to do is to refer others, and most do. You're red if you hope and pray that they do, or you randomly ask them every so often and give away some sort of nominal gift as a thank you, like a gift card, which is kind of what most trainers do, but doesn't really work. So let's take another hot chocolate breath. Breathe in and blow the steam off your hot chocolate. So now that we've gone through these 11 steps, if you wrote them down, I want you to have a look. If you've been thinking through it and you know you want to go back and write them down and self-assess, but you're thinking through it, I want you to do a bit of a, how are you feeling right now? Check in with yourself. Are you surprised, happy, sad? Are there more reds and yellows than you'd like there to be? If so, don't be upset, be excited. This blueprint lays out the entire process of working with a client, something you've probably never been given before. With it, you know all of the different steps that it takes, and one glance at it, you know exactly where your gaps are and what you got to do. That's beautiful. Now, the next step is to simply execute upon that. Executing, if you have a blueprint, becomes way easier. And so I really, really hope that this gave you that blueprint today.
Wanted to be able to catch the final tea sip. That was great.
Now I get to drink the rest of my coffee. I like putting honey in my coffee, but I like unpasteurized honey, the solid one. Because every time that I don't like the liquid honey because it makes good pure liquid honey can be good, but it makes a bit of a mess when you scoop it out. The honeybee, basically sugar water is not real honey most of the time. But I like the solid honey that I scoop with a spoon because it doesn't make a mess, and then I can eat a little bit of it before I actually put it into my coffee.
I don't like honey. It's gross.
Fine. I'm not sure I like you.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, bye.